So I'm Nirvana, and this is my final for chemistry. It's about greenhouse gases, their effects on the environment, and how to limit their production and their effects on the environment. Okay, so first I'm going to be explaining all of this to the video and my mom.
Hi.
Okay, so greenhouse gases are basically the biggest factor to causing global warming. And so this infographic says that it shows the majority of where the gases come from, specifically carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide, and methane. And it shows almost all of it comes from major companies and businesses. It also shows how, and according to another source from CBS News, every second 2.4 million pounds of CO2 is released, which is another example of why it's so important. And because of that background, it also shows why the greenhouse gases are causing the issue. And so the effect of the greenhouse gases means that it traps the sunlight in our environment, in our atmosphere. Because the sun energy comes in and hits the earth and then leaves. But with the higher amount of carbon dioxide and methane and nitrous oxide, it doesn't leave, making the environment hotter and causing global warming. NASA even said that it has had a 5.4 degree rise globally, which is a huge amount. And so I propose that the first step to dealing with greenhouse gases would be to create a greenhouse gas tax. Basically, we would tax companies or mass farms over a certain amount of how much greenhouse gases they produce, like CO2 or nitrous oxide or methane. And so that would be the way that we stop the emissions. You understand?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. And so I believe that it works because it has worked in the past. For example, it's been proven to work in multiple countries like United Kingdom, Sweden, Netherlands, and even some parts of America and different states. We even have a version in California. And it not only massively dropped the usage of coal and the amount of greenhouse gases that were released. It also has benefited the economy. Like in Sweden, it rose the GDP by carbon emissions dropped by 21%, but it also grew the amount that it will produce in taxes, which could be used to then benefit the creation of even more steps to deal with global warming. And so these are my sources. Now, what's your opinions on my idea? Do you have any constructive criticism?
It's interesting. I'd heard of a carbon tax before, but I hadn't heard of it being used on methane. Have they tried that anywhere in the world, like on farms and things like that?
No, but I think since they can average out how much methane is produced by a cow, they would be able to average it out. And if it reaches over a certain point, I think it would be able to be taxed.
Okay, so it would apply to all of the gases that affect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because in the first slide, it's shown that methane by cows is actually the second most released greenhouse gas.
Okay, and the first is energy production?
First is energy production.
Okay. Interesting. So then it would be a matter of changing over to renewables and getting the taxes from any carbon release.
It would basically be like an incentive to give up what we're using now in favor of energy that we already have the ability to use, just no real want to.
Okay, interesting.
That's it. Thank you.